Hello, and thank you for joining me today for the University Club Banking video training. My name is Dana Franklin, and I am the Finance and Administrative Coordinator for the Office of Student Engagement, aka your Club Banking Specialist. I can be reached via email at dfranklin@csusb.edu or by calling 909-537-3979. If you have been issued this training, that means that you have been identified as either the President, Vice President, or Treasurer of a CSUSB student organization. As part of the CSUSB student organization formal recognition process, you are required to complete this training as well as a brief quiz to ensure your comprehension of the content of which you are about to receive. Let's get started. In order to establish a University Club bank account, it is recommended that the president of your student organization submit a charter registration on the CSUSB Student Involvement website, Coyote Connection. This can be done at csusb.edu/coyote-connection. With the information provided via the registration form, we will be able to either begin the process to establish your University Club bank account or to simply revise the details of your existing account. The form that is utilized to create and revise ST funds is known as the University Club Trust Fund Fact Sheet, or often referred to as the TFFS. Each academic year, this form will be updated by the Office of Student Engagement. We will then route the form for signature to the student organization president, vice president, and treasurer through Adobe Sign. Please see example of the University Club Trust Fund Fact Sheet. It is important to note that once established, your organization's account number will always remain the same. The account number will begin with ST and have 3 digits thereafter. The form fields indicate how your organization generates revenue as source of funds, i.e. membership dues, fundraisers, donations, etc., as well as your planned types of expenses as use of funds, i.e. promotional items, conference registrations, event supplies, etc. The authorized individuals or financially responsible officers are the president, vice president, and treasurer. The president of your organization will have provided this information to us in the Coyote Connection registration form. If you are unsure of whether or not your student organization has an existing ST fund, or you would like to confirm the ST fund number for your organization, please email oseinfo@csusb.edu so that we may provide you with the information on record. I would like to mention that a very small number of CSUSB student clubs and organizations qualify for an on-campus banking program exemption. If you are a fraternity or sorority, your club or organization is affiliated with a parent or national umbrella organization, and you pay organization membership dues, or your club or organization is affiliated with a faith-based organization, please review the University Club Banking Exemption Form. The exemption form can be found on the Office of Student Engagement website under Student Clubs and Organizations under Club and Organization Banking. You will be asked to provide a letter from the IRS confirming your recognition as a 501c, and you will need to provide your prior year tax filing. Now let me briefly explain the Club Cash deposit form as seen in this next slide. Club Cash refers to cash, checks, and money orders. This form, along with all student organization on-campus banking forms, can be found on the Office of Student Engagement website under Student Clubs and Organizations under Club and Organization Banking. This form is required when depositing money into your ST fund. It does not need to be completed by a financially responsible officer, but it is recommended. As a general rule, We recommend that only 1 to 2 officers of your organization are responsible for collecting and depositing organization funds. The individual processing the deposit form will need to complete all required information on the form. Once you have completed the form fields, please request a club member, another officer, or your advisor to verify the form and total deposit amount are accurate. They will need to sign on the Verified By line. All checks and money orders must be made payable to the club name at CSUSB, or campus will be unable to process the deposit. Do not forget to endorse the back of any checks or money orders. Additionally, you should have created a receipt for any received payments, donations, or sponsorships. Please include copies of all receipts with your deposit form. Student Financial Services will provide you with a copy of the form and a receipt. Please keep this with your organization's financial records. Club cash handling. Club cash should be deposited within 1 week of receipt. It is important to practice good cash handling processes when collecting funds for your organization. Ensure that funds are secure in either a locking bank bag or a locked cash box. If your organization does not have either one of these, please consider purchasing one. If you have more than one officer collecting funds, you may need to purchase more than one. As mentioned previously, we also recommend the use of a receipt book, or you can generate invoices and receipts in programs such as Microsoft Word for all monies collected. Now that campus has returned to in-person services, you can process all deposits in the basement of University Hall at the Student Financial Services window, anytime Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. For your safety, if you have a deposit of greater than $2,500, contact University Police at 909-537-5165 for escort services. If you are working with a vendor or donor that would like to issue a check to your organization, please remember the check must be made payable to the club name at CSUSB, or campus will be unable to process the deposit. Please also request that the check be mailed to the club name at CSUSB, 5500 University Parkway, San Bernardino, California, 92407. Here is a brief list of best practices and things to avoid in regard to funds and funding. Evaluate your organization's operational needs. Consider if membership fees will be beneficial to your organization during this time and how these funds will be used to benefit the member during this academic year. What are you providing to your members? T-shirts, food at meetings, guest speakers, professional development opportunities? Also, please plan for a safe and program allowable means to collect membership fees. The University Club Banking Program strictly prohibits the use of Venmo, Cash App, Zelle, and all similar electronic funds collecting applications or websites. The recommended process for collecting membership fees would be for one officer to serve as the collector, presumably the treasurer. However, this is not required. Payments should be issued to the selected officer, and the paying member should be issued a receipt. The officer would then be responsible to ensure that the membership dues are deposited into the on-campus ST fund. Never deposit student organization funds into a personal bank account. Additional ways to generate funds for your organization include online event ticket sales, partnering with local small businesses to fundraise, and collecting donations and sponsorships from individual donors and/or businesses. If the business or individual donor that you are working with requires a tax receipt, please contact me at dfranklin@csusb.edu. You may need to establish what is known as a philanthropic account for your organization in order to provide the requested tax receipt. The University Club Financial Transaction Request Form is utilized anytime your organization would like to access the funds from your ST fund. This transaction form can be found on the Office of Student Engagement website under Student Clubs and Organizations under Club and Organization Banking. The form is required whenever reimbursing officers, members, or your advisor for out-of-pocket supply expenses, to pay for vendors for services or supplies, to process online orders, and for all contracts. It is very important to remember to never pay for any vendor services out of pocket, or we will be unable to reimburse you. Page 2 of the University Club Financial Transaction Request Form provides you with the detailed instructions of the form. Office of Student Engagement recognizes your president, vice president, and treasurer as the financially responsible officers for your organization. These are the individuals that will most often process transactions for your student org. The transaction form may at times be completed by members that are not defined as financially responsible. But prior to the submission of the transaction, it will always need to be reviewed, approved, and signed by at least 2 of the 3 financially responsible officers. Complete the form to the best of your ability, providing a detailed description of the transaction. If the transaction request exceeds $500, your advisor will also need to sign the form. Once your organization has signed the transaction request form, you will then upload it to Coyote Connection in the Forms tab. Visit csuSB.edu/Coyote-Connection. Under the Forms tab, select the appropriate University Club Financial Transaction Request Form and simply upload the PDF. Do not worry about acquiring signatures from the OSE representative and the Finance and Administrative Coordinator prior to submitting on Coyote Connection. The Office of Student Engagement will take care of these additional signatures. Cash advances have been temporarily suspended. However, once reinstated, cash advances are available up to $500. Please never use a cash advance to pay for a service to an independent contractor or to an individual, as this is prohibited. Please note the 2-day rule. Cash advances can be requested up to 2 days prior to an event. All receipts and any remaining funds are due to Student Financial Services 2 business days after a purchase has been made. Typical cash advance uses are printing and duplicating, food, banners, flyers, decorations, t-shirts, and Costco or grocery store items, just to name a few. As with cash advances, cash reimbursements are currently suspended as well. Once reinstated, there is a $500 maximum for cash reimbursements. Receipts must be submitted within 30 days. You will need to include itemized receipts with your transaction form when it is uploaded to Coyote Connection. Examples of cash reimbursable expenses are printing and duplicating, food, banners and flyers, decorations, t-shirts, Costco, and grocery store items. Again, please do not pay any vendors for services, and we encourage you to only pay out of pocket when absolutely necessary. Office of Student Engagement will keep you informed as to when cash processes are made available once more. Checks may be requested to pay for donations, national membership dues, and conference registrations, just to name a few. The maximum allowable amount for check requests is $1,000. Upon completion of the form, you are required to upload the transaction request form to Coyote Connection, and you will need to attach a quote or invoice with the vendor's contact information. Check reimbursements may be requested for individuals that have paid out of pocket for club and organization promotional items, office supplies, additional items from in-store locations, online supply orders, and food, just to name a few. In an effort to maintain the health and well-being of our campus community members, all reimbursements will be made via a check payment mailed to the reimbursed individual's home. Important: Don't forget to include the mailing address in the description on the transaction form. When you submit for a reimbursement on Coyote Connection, you will need to upload all receipts or paid invoices as proof of payment. Reminding you once more, never pay out of pocket for services to vendors such as catering, speaker or presenter fees, DJ services, etc. Credit card transactions are processed for online supply orders, national organization membership dues, or conference registrations. When processing orders that require the use of the University Club credit card, give at least 7 to 14 days processing time. Vendors may be required to complete additional forms for the university. The funds must be available in your ST fund for the entire amount of the order. When you submit the credit card request on Coyote Connection, include any invoices or quotes with cost and contact information, as well as the necessary website information if applicable. Purchase orders are utilized for services such as contracting with a guest speaker, banquet hall rentals, and for supply orders when a credit card cannot be used. If a vendor requires a service agreement or contract to be signed, do not sign it. Upload it with the transaction request on Coyote Connection as well as a quote. Chargebacks are utilized for payment of on-campus services such as special events and guest services, event and meeting space rentals, parking services fees, and strategic communication, marketing, photography, and videography services. Complete the transaction request form and upload it along with any helpful email correspondence or quotes from the billing department. Best practices for treasury and record keeping are listed here. We recommend keeping a binder or Google Drive with all student organization treasury documents, such as copies of transaction requests and backup documentation, receipts, invoices, etc. You should also keep copies of all processed deposit forms. Typically, the organization treasurer is responsible for maintaining these records. If you choose to use a Google Drive or other cloud file storage website, make sure to issue access to all financially responsible officers and your advisor. This will ensure that you do not lose access when an officer graduates or leaves the institution. We also recommend keeping an Excel spreadsheet with the running total of your ST fund balance. You will add deposit amounts when necessary and deduct all expenses that are purchased utilizing your organization funds. If you have questions about your organization record keeping, please contact our office at any time. Opportunity drawing and giveaways are allowable event expenditures in the University Club Banking Program. However, there are very specific rules and additional forms. All recipients of any opportunity drawing or giveaway items must complete the required form for CSUSB accounting services. If this form is not completed, please do not issue the item. This form can be found on the Office of Student Engagement website under Student Clubs and Organizations under Club and Organization Banking. We recommend these items be purchased through the University Club Banking Program utilizing your ST funds rather than paid for out of pocket. For gift cards, please note, gift cards are reimbursable only. We cannot purchase these items for you directly. The gift card maximum is $25. Gift cards cannot be issued to any CSUSB faculty or staff member. If you have any questions about opportunity drawings or giveaway items, please contact D. Franklin at csusb.edu for further guidance. Lastly, I would like to share with you some exciting information. All CSUSB registered student clubs and organizations have access to an additional resource for club funding. The Associated Students, Inc., ASI, Club Allocated Budget, or what is known as CAB. This program allows clubs and organizations to apply for funding for their program supplies and expenses, event supplies and expenses, and conference registrations. For more information on program rules and the application process, visit the ASI CAB website. Here are a few helpful links for your on-campus club banking needs. You can find all program information and the forms discussed today on the OSC website. Familiarize yourself with the University Club Banking Guide. It will explain the information that we have covered today in greater detail. Thank you for joining me today for the University Club Banking video training. Please find Office of Student Engagement contact information on the slide. We encourage you to reach out to us anytime you have questions or would like additional program information. That concludes the University Club Banking Program video training. Follow the link to complete the required survey. Upon your completion of the survey, we will review your submission to confirm your understanding of the program. We will then issue you credit for this requirement.